the search for inner peace. Have you ever found yourself feeling overwhelmed by the noise and chaos of daily life? The deadlines, the never-ending notifications, the expectations from others? Sometimes it feels like there's no escape. But here's a thought. What if peace isn't found by controlling the chaos, but by learning to let go of the need to control? In today's video, we're diving into a timeless wisdom from Buddhism. A teaching that's not about giving up or withdrawing from life, but about embracing it more fully. It's about detachment, not cold indifference, but a profound freedom that allows us to live with clarity and presence. Now, when we hear detachment, we might imagine monks meditating on mountaintops, far away from our modern hustle. But in reality, detachment is something we can all practice right here, right now. It's about loosening the grip we have on expectations, possessions, even the people we love, so we can experience life without fear of loss. In this video, we'll explore how to let go of what holds us back, accept the world as it is, and embrace each moment with a lighter heart. And we won't just talk theory. We'll share stories, both ancient and modern, that reveal the surprising power of letting go. So, take a deep breath. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to truly live in the present, unburdened by anxiety about the future or regrets about the past. That's the journey we're about to take together. Get ready to discover the art of letting go and the peace that comes with it. Part 1. The art of letting go. Have you ever held on to something so tightly, only to realize later it was never truly yours to keep? There's a story in Buddhism that beautifully captures this lesson. A young monk once received a delicate porcelain cup from his master, a gift he treasured dearly. He admired it every day, keeping it close, careful not to let it break. But one day, despite all his efforts, the cup slipped from his hand, shattering into 1,000 pieces. Heartbroken, he looked at his master for comfort. The master, with a calm smile, simply said, "That cup was already broken from the beginning." At first glance, this might seem cold or harsh, but the master's words carry a profound truth. Everything in life is impermanent. The cup wasn't broken just in that moment. It was always destined to break. It was only a matter of time. This idea of detachment isn't about giving up or becoming indifferent. It's about recognizing the natural flow of life, the coming and going, the rise and fall. When we cling tightly to things, whether it's a relationship, a job, or even an idea of who we think we should be, we set ourselves up for suffering. We fear losing what we love. But the irony is, it's that very fear that holds us back from truly experiencing joy. Think of it like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. Life is a river. It flows, changes, and adapts. When we try to dam it up, we only create resistance. But when we learn to flow with it, to let go of what no longer serves us, we open ourselves to peace and growth. So, what does detachment really mean? It means loving without clinging, appreciating what we have today, knowing it might change tomorrow. It's understanding that even loss can bring unexpected gifts. How many times have we held onto a relationship that no longer nurtured us, out of fear of loneliness? How often have we stayed in a job that drained us because we were afraid of the unknown? Letting go doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we stop trying to control what's beyond us. The secret to detachment is acceptance. When we let go, we're not giving up. We're making room for something new. We're learning to dance with life's unpredictability, not fight against it. The river doesn't mourn the water that has flowed away. It welcomes the new with each passing moment. Here's something to reflect on. What are you holding on to right now that might be holding you back? Is it an expectation, a fear, a person, or even a version of yourself? Imagine what it would feel like to loosen your grip, just a little, and allow life to move forward naturally. In the next part of our journey, we'll explore how detachment naturally leads to acceptance, the key to living with greater ease and wisdom. But for now, remember, life isn't meant to be controlled or possessed. It's meant to be lived, moment by moment, with an open heart. Part 2. Radical acceptance. Have you ever found yourself caught in a struggle, trying to bend life to your will, only to end up more frustrated and exhausted? I think we've all been there. There's a story from Buddhist teachings about a disciple who came to his master, burdened and upset. "Master," he said, "I'm suffering because life isn't the way I want it to be." The master smiled gently and replied, "You suffer because you resist what is." It's such a simple truth, yet one we often forget. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means seeing things clearly, without trying to twist them into what we wish they were. Think of it like standing on a beach, watching a massive wave coming toward you. You could try to stop it, yell at it, or run away. But none of those efforts will make the wave disappear. Instead, you can dive into it, flow with it, and trust that you'll emerge on the other side. The wave isn't personal, it's just the way things are. Life is full of waves, unexpected changes, challenges, and losses. We can't control them all, but we can control how we respond. Imagine an expert archer aiming at a target. They can train and prepare, but there are always factors beyond their control. The wind, humidity, even the slight movement of the target. They could let frustration consume them, or they can adjust their aim, breathe deeply, and try again. This is what radical acceptance teaches us. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift doesn't erase the pain or the challenge, but it transforms how we face it. It gives us power, not by changing the world around us, but by changing our perspective. And it's not just about accepting the external world. It's about accepting ourselves. How often do we punish ourselves for past mistakes, for not living up to expectations? But self-criticism doesn't make us better. It only keeps us stuck. True transformation begins when we accept who we are, flaws, mistakes, and all. It's only from a place of acceptance that real growth can happen. Here's a question to reflect on. What parts of your life are you resisting right now? Is there something you wish were different? Your job, a relationship, your health? What if instead of fighting it, you simply acknowledged it? Acceptance doesn't mean you like it, or that you stop working to improve it. It just means you stop wasting energy on denial or frustration. The ocean doesn't argue with the waves. It moves with them. The archer doesn't control the wind, but they adjust and shoot again. And we too can find peace, not by conquering life's challenges, but by flowing with them. In the next part of our journey, we'll explore how acceptance leads to a deeper trust in life. A trust that everything happens in its own time, and often for reasons we can't yet see. But for now, remember, acceptance isn't surrender. It's the beginning of wisdom. Part 3. Trust in life and Buddhist stories. Have you ever rushed to judge a situation as either good or bad, only to realize later that things were more complex than they seemed? There's a well-loved story from Buddhist teachings that speaks to this. An old monk lived in a quiet village. One day, a beautiful wild horse wandered into his garden. The villagers were amazed. "How lucky you are," they said. The monk simply smiled and replied, "Good luck or bad luck? Who knows?" Soon after, the monk's son tried to tame the horse and fell, breaking his leg. "Oh, what bad luck," the villagers exclaimed. Once again, the monk calmly said, "Good luck or bad luck? Who knows?" Weeks later, a war broke out, and all the young men were drafted, except for the monk's son, who couldn't go because of his injury. "Ah, how lucky you are," the villagers cheered. And once more the monk said, "Good luck or bad luck? Who knows?" This story reminds us that life unfolds in ways we can't always predict or understand. What we rush to label as misfortune might later reveal itself as a blessing. Maybe you've experienced something like this: a job loss that led to a better opportunity, a relationship that ended but opened the door to personal growth. Another story from Buddhism tells of a man who saw a butterfly struggling to break free from its cocoon. Wanting to help, he gently opened the cocoon. The butterfly emerged, but its wings were too weak to fly. The man didn't realize that the struggle was necessary for the butterfly's wings to strengthen. By intervening, he prevented the butterfly from fully developing. How often do we try to rush the natural process of life? We want answers now, solutions now, change now. But life has its own rhythm, and sometimes what feels like a delay or a struggle is actually preparing us for something greater. When we try to force outcomes, whether it's pushing for a promotion, demanding clarity in a relationship, or rushing healing from a setback, we're like the man opening the butterfly's cocoon. We may think we're helping, but often we're just getting in the way of the natural unfolding. Instead, what if we chose trust? Trust that life has a wisdom beyond what we can immediately see. Trust that even when things seem uncertain or challenging, they are part of a larger picture that's still being painted. Here's something to reflect on. What if the things you're worrying about right now, those obstacles or unanswered questions, are actually part of your personal growth? What if they're shaping you, strengthening you, just like the butterfly in its cocoon? Life isn't always about rushing to the next thing. It's about being present, trusting the process, and allowing things to unfold in their own time. In the next part of our journey, we'll explore how meditation can help us deepen this trust and connect with inner peace. But for now, remember, sometimes the greatest strength lies not in controlling life's flow, but in trusting it. Part 4. The power of meditation. Have you ever noticed how your mind can feel like a glass of muddy water? Constant thoughts swirling, emotions rising, and it seems impossible to find clarity. There's a simple but powerful story from Buddhist teachings that illustrates this. A disciple once came to his master, frustrated, saying, "My mind is so restless. I try to find peace, but the more I try, the more my thoughts spin out of control." The master handed him a glass of water with dirt in it. He shook it and said, "Now wait." Slowly, the dirt settled and the water became clear. "This is your mind," the master said. "When you let it be still, clarity comes on its own." That's the essence of meditation. It's not about forcing your thoughts to stop or emptying your mind of distractions. It's about observing your thoughts without judgment, allowing them to come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky. We live in a world full of constant noise: emails, notifications, social media, news. Our minds are always on. Meditation gives us permission to turn down the volume and reconnect with what truly matters. And science supports this ancient wisdom. Studies show that regular meditation reduces stress, improves concentration, and even strengthens our immune system. But beyond the scientific benefits, meditation teaches us something even deeper: impermanence. When we sit quietly and observe our breath, we begin to see that everything, thoughts, emotions, even stress, comes and goes. Nothing stays forever. And this realization can be profoundly liberating. So how can we practice this in our daily lives? One simple method is breath meditation. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and bring your attention to your breath. The cool air entering your nostrils, the warmth as it leaves. If your mind wanders, gently guide it back to the breath. No force, no frustration. Or try letting go meditation. Picture holding a heavy bag in your hands. Your worries, your regrets, your stresses. As you exhale, imagine slowly releasing that bag, feeling the weight lift with each breath. Another beautiful practice is gratitude meditation. Each day, take a few minutes to reflect on something you're thankful for. It could be a person, a moment, or even just the breath in your lungs. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. Here's something to ponder. What if you gave yourself just 5 minutes a day to sit quietly and observe your breath? What might change in your life if you allowed your mind to settle like that glass of water? Meditation isn't about achieving perfection. It's about creating space to reconnect with yourself. It helps us respond to life with more calm, clarity, and compassion. And in that stillness, we discover a deeper peace, the kind that doesn't depend on external circumstances. In the next part of our journey, we'll explore how to let go of the need to control everything and instead learn to flow with life's natural rhythm. But for now, remember, the mind isn't something to be fought or conquered. It's a river waiting to settle into stillness, if only we give it the space. Part 5. Letting go of control and going with the flow. Have you ever felt like you're clinging too tightly to the reins of life, desperately trying to control every little detail, only to find yourself more exhausted and anxious? It's a common struggle. We try to control our careers, our relationships, our health, believing that if we just plan enough, work hard enough, we can prevent disappointment or pain. But life has a way of humbling us, doesn't it? There's a story from Buddhism that offers a fresh perspective. A master and his disciples stood by a river, watching the water flow around rocks and bends, adapting effortlessly to every obstacle. The master said, "Look at how the river flows. It doesn't resist. It doesn't try to control the path. It simply moves forward, adjusting and continuing." Life is much like that river. When we try to block the current, holding on to things we can't control, we create resistance and ultimately suffering. It's not that we shouldn't care or try. It's that we need to recognize that some things are beyond our control. There's another story that illustrates this. Imagine a man clinging desperately to a tree branch over a cliff, convinced that letting go would mean falling into the abyss. But what he doesn't realize is that just below him, there's solid ground. If he had only let go, he would have landed safely. How often do we cling like that man? To jobs that drain us, relationships that no longer bring us joy, fears that keep us stuck. We hold on because we believe it's safer. But in truth, it's the letting go that saves us. Here's the key. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It means accepting that uncertainty is a natural part of life and being curious about what comes next. Instead of resisting change, we can choose to dance with it. So, how can we apply this in everyday life? Start by doing your best, whether it's in your work, your relationships, your personal goals, but without being consumed by the outcome. Focus on the process, the journey, rather than obsessing over where it will lead. Ask yourself, what might I discover if I loosen my grip just a little? What opportunities could unfold if I allowed life to surprise me? Meditation can be a helpful tool here too. It trains us to observe our fears and anxieties without being overwhelmed by them, to see what we can control and what we need to release. The truth is, the best things in life often happen when we're not trying to force them. Love, creativity, joy. They thrive in openness and flow. So next time you catch yourself gripping tightly to the reins, take a deep breath. Let the river of life carry you forward. Trust that even if you can't see the whole path ahead, you'll find solid ground under your feet. In the next part of our journey, we'll explore how cultivating compassion for ourselves and others can bring even deeper peace and connection. But for now, remember, letting go isn't weakness. It's courage. And it's the first step toward freedom. Part 6. Compassion for oneself and others. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a loop of self-criticism, replaying your mistakes over and over in your mind? There's a story from Buddhist teachings that brings a powerful perspective. A man once came to a monk, overwhelmed with guilt. "Master," he said, "I've made so many mistakes. I've hurt people I care about. I can't forgive myself." The monk gently replied, "If a bird broke its own wing while flying, should it stop trying to fly, or should it heal and soar again? Guilt is the weight that holds us down. Compassion is the wind that helps us rise." This story reminds us that compassion isn't just about being kind to others. It's about being kind to ourselves. Too often we speak to ourselves in ways we'd never speak to someone we love. We beat ourselves up for our flaws, our past decisions, for not being good enough. But here's the truth. Harshness doesn't make us better. It just keeps us stuck. Real growth begins with self-compassion. The willingness to say, "I made a mistake, but I am still worthy of love and growth." Imagine a tree trying to grow stronger by being struck. It wouldn't thrive. But with patience and care, it can grow tall and resilient. One beautiful practice that nurtures this mindset is metta bhavana, or loving-kindness meditation. It starts with a simple intention. May I be well. May I be happy. May I live in peace. You repeat these phrases to yourself, then gradually extend them to others, family, friends, even strangers. At first, it might feel odd to wish yourself happiness, especially if you're used to harsh self-talk. But over time, it becomes a powerful reminder that we all deserve love and understanding. There's also a story of a man carrying a heavy sack of stones on his back. Exhausted, he continued walking. When asked why he was carrying such a burden, he answered, "These stones are my grudges and resentments." The monk told him, "Let them go. You don't need to carry them to keep moving forward." How many of us carry our own emotional stones, anger, bitterness, resentment, believing that holding on to them punishes someone else? But in reality, it only weighs us down. Compassion doesn't mean forgetting what hurt us. It means choosing to free ourselves from the burden. And compassion isn't weakness. It takes more courage to forgive than to stay angry. It takes more strength to let go of bitterness than to cling to it. When we cultivate compassion, we transform not just our relationship with others, but also with ourselves. We become more patient, understanding, and at peace. Here's a reflection for today. What heavy burdens are you carrying that you might be ready to set down? What would it feel like to speak to yourself with the same kindness you'd offer to a dear friend? In our next chapter, we'll explore how to weave these teachings into the fabric of our daily lives, creating a life filled with wisdom, peace, and fulfillment. But for now, remember, compassion isn't a weakness. It's a strength, and it starts with you. Part 7. Integrating Buddhist teachings into daily life. Have you ever read something deeply inspiring, maybe a teaching from Buddhism, that made you think, "Yes, this makes so much sense," only to find yourself back in old habits just days later? We've all been there. Understanding an idea is one thing, but bringing it into our daily lives is where the real magic happens. Buddhism isn't just philosophy, it's a practice. It's not about memorizing wise words or watching videos like this and nodding in agreement. It's about showing up for yourself day after day in small ways that add up to profound change. Let's start with detachment. This isn't about renouncing everything you love or living without emotion. It's about appreciating life's gifts, relationships, success, possessions, without gripping them so tightly that their loss would shatter you. Can you enjoy a beautiful moment, knowing it won't last forever? That's the heart of detachment. Then there's acceptance. Life doesn't always align with our plans. There will be disappointments, losses, unexpected twists. But what if, instead of resisting, we learn to lean in? To meet each day with the question, What can I accept today? It might be something small, a traffic jam, a disagreement, or something deeper. Acceptance isn't resignation, it's clarity. And let's talk about trust. How often do we rush to label something as good or bad without waiting to see the bigger picture? What if we trusted that every event holds a lesson, even when we can't see it immediately? Maybe that job you didn't get is opening a door you never imagined. Maybe a setback is preparing you for a stronger comeback. Meditation helps with this, and it doesn't need to be complicated. Just 5 minutes a day of mindful breathing can shift your mindset. Close your eyes, notice your breath, and let your thoughts pass like clouds. No judgment, no pressure, just space. Next is letting go of control. Do your best, but release the obsession with results. Like the archer who focuses on form, not the bullseye. Can you act from love, from integrity, from presence, without being consumed by where it will lead? And don't forget compassion. Start with yourself. Speak to yourself with the same kindness you'd offer to a struggling friend. Forgive your own missteps. Then extend that compassion outward, to the person who cut you off in traffic, to the colleague who let you down. Here's a powerful reminder. Life isn't a race to a perfect destination. It's a journey, one of learning, unlearning, falling, and getting back up. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep showing up. So, what might this look like for you? Maybe it's pausing for a deep breath before reacting in frustration. Maybe it's starting your morning with a moment of gratitude. Maybe it's gently letting go of a toxic relationship or a job that no longer aligns with your values. Maybe it's simply remembering that you are human, and that's okay. As we wrap up this series, I invite you to choose just one practice: detachment, acceptance, trust, meditation, letting go, or compassion, and weave it into your daily life. Watch how it transforms your perspective, your relationships, your peace of mind. Because at the end of the day, Buddhism isn't something you read about or admire from afar. It's something you live. One breath, one choice, one moment at a time. Dear friend, our lives are like a flowing river, constantly moving, ever-changing. But amidst the endless currents, Buddhist teachings offer us not just a compass, but a guiding light that helps us rediscover our true selves. When we integrate these timeless lessons into our daily lives, we don't just find ways to navigate life's challenges. We nurture the two greatest powers within us: wisdom and compassion. Wisdom isn't just something we learn from books. It's the ability to see life clearly, to face reality with courage, and to respond with calm and clarity. And compassion isn't weakness. It's the strength to forgive, to heal, and to create peace, both for ourselves and for those around us. So today, I invite you, take that first step back to yourself. Choose one simple practice: detachment, acceptance, meditation, compassion, and let it become the seed of transformation in your life. Each small action you take can bring you closer to a life of peace, balance, and deeper understanding. If these teachings resonate with you, help spread this light of wisdom and compassion to others. Click subscribe, leave a comment sharing your own journey, and share this video with friends and family. Together, let's create ripples of change, planting seeds of wisdom and compassion with every step we take. Let's return to that peaceful space within, where our true selves shine brightest.